I get on live, someone decides to call me. Every time. And then once someone calls me, I don't know how to get back on live. Like, I see the timer keep going, but I don't know how to pull the camera back up. So I'm sorry I have to always end abruptly when I'm cut off. I don't know if it's my phone, because I need a new phone. I don't know. Yeah, whenever I get a call, whenever I go on live, I get a call. And whenever I get a call and I reject the call, I can't connect back to the live. The time will keep going, but I don't see it anymore. So I apologize, y'all, until I figure it out. So we were talking about series that I could watch, something good to watch on Netflix or Hulu. Talk to me. Average Joe. What do you guys think has better shows, Netflix or Hulu? To me, I think Netflix. Netflix has better Netflix has better maybe movies or series. Hulu has better shows. Hey Tasha, welcome back. Sorry my live ended abruptly. I got a call and it chipped me off. Hopefully I don't get another one. What's this about? Seriously single. Hi Hayden. Hi Hunter. What's up? How's your Tuesday? Hey Remy. I think you think that's an insult, but it's not. At least not to me. I think Remy thinks that I'm one of those people that I hate being black when I love being black. Grab the camera for Lamar Jackson edit. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. Hi, Mila. Am I saying your name right, Mila? Mia? Thank you. How's y'all Tuesday going? What are you up to? Miley. Oh, Miley. Okay. I'm sorry. That's beautiful, Miley. Does it mean something? Does it? Miley. What are you guys doing? I'm due to get my hair done next week. I can't wait. I hate when my hair is old. I like when you can see the parts when my roots are all messy. But it is what it is. It is what it is. I want to go outside and do some garden work, but I don't want to push my luck. It's good enough that I was supposed to still be on post-op restrictions, and I went back to work. So I'm tempted to go out and pull some weeds because I feel like everybody on my street takes such good care of their house. And then there's me with all the weeds growing up for the past month. Part of me don't care. Part of me is like, curb appeal, keep up, with it. But I don't want to go out and do too much and then be hurting. Because again, my abdomen doesn't hurt from the surgery, but my incision hurts. And I know I'm going to have to bend over to pull the weeds. And I don't know if that might just be too much for me. Every time when I would feel like my belly, let's say if like water spilled on me and I'll feel my belly, if it was wet, I would look down, I'll be scared that it's blood. Because everyone kept saying, oh, you in such a rush to go back to work. You're going to know when your incision opens up. So every time when I would feel like a wet spot on my shirt or my dress, I'd be like, and look at my hand to see if it's blood. Thankfully, it wouldn't be, but I don't know. I'm thankful. What I love about YouTube is like you're tracking your life like a video diary. Because sometimes I even forget that I had surgery recently. Because you're just moving so fast and you're focusing on the future and the things you want to do that the past and the present kind of sometimes is a blur. It's not until I look back at my videos that I'm like, oh my goodness, I had surgery. I don't know. Hi, Vishal. Did I say your name right? Let me tell y'all something. I hate getting people's names wrong. I'm one of those people that I love to keep trying till I get somebody's name right. Hi, Pineapple Express. Oh, thank you. Where am I from? I'm in the United States. Where am I from? I'm from Panama. Where are you from? Oh, okay, you're from India. That's cool. I had someone else come on and we were talking about places to visit in India because I was saying that I would love to go visit. What are the places that I must visit? You said Indian Riz. You know what though? I'm not gonna lie. They're like, I like the confidence. Every time I go live, I feel like there's always at least one person from India that comes on and they do what they gotta do. They flirt with confidence. Oh, thank you. You know what I got? I got voted best smile in middle school at my school. And I was so shocked by that because but thank you. Where are you from, Pineapple Riz? I mean, Pineapple Express. Look, now you got me saying Riz. Mm-mm. I wish I could, my age, I'm old. How old are you, Vishal? I just keep reading Pineapple Express comment on Indian. That is so funny. I'm from Michigan, Detroit, and I got voted biggest flirt and most likely to sleep through an earthquake. Oh, you a flirt? I got two. Well, in high school, I got most school spirit. No, middle school, I got most school spirit. And then in high school, I got best smile. Oh, you're a deep sleeper. I'm not a deep sleeper. You're 28? Oh, I remember when I was 28. Thank you, Vishal. I'm in my 30s. Elise Angela. I like that, Elise Angela. Mora. Where are you from? Elise Angela Mora. That sounds like a TV star. I'm married to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In high school, I got Duke for prom royalty. Oh, you sound like you were like popular in school. I was kind of like a class clown. So I remember they were trying to vote me for class clown, and my mother told me, if you come home voted as class clown, I'm gonna beat your behind. And so I remember people kept writing my name, and I kept being like, please, no, don't vote me for class clown. And it kept making them laugh even more. And I was like, but I'm not playing, I'm being very serious. You know, like when people are just so used to you making them laugh, that even when you're talking to them seriously, they're still like, and you're like, no, I'm being serious. And they're like, you're so crazy. And you're like, no, I'm not joking. I'm being serious. So when people find you to be funny, even when you're being serious or even when it's something important to you, they're just used to you clowning around. That's the con of being a jokester. People never take you serious. But it is what it is. Reba. What is your favorite sitcom on TV? I think Fresh Prince of Bel Air is pretty good. Girlfriends was good too, and the game was good as well. King of Queens. Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh, I should watch that. Everybody Loves Raymond. It's been a long time since I watched that. What do you guys think about people getting BBLs and lipo and all these different surgeries? No, Vishal, I'm married. What do you think about surgery? Do you like women with BBLs, Vishal? Do you like the BBL look? You like you like the ladies with BBLs? Are there women in India that get BBLs like that? I've never seen that, so I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm being very serious. Really? I mean, on TV, all you see is black women and Hispanic women, really, and I guess some white. But what about? Okay, so maybe you're saying yes to the BBLs, but are there a lot of Indian women getting BBLs in India? And then the next question is, do they get the surgery done there or do they travel out the country and then come back with a BBL? Like, is there a place to get a BBL if you wanted to? Oh, to get a BBL if you wanted to? I feel like there's going to be a lot of medical complications later on. Sometimes these things come out and they're a big style. And I granted, I guess people have been getting their bodies done in some capacity for many years. Like, you see Pamela Anderson, that guy had her boobs done and stuff, but I think these new surgeries, because they're more affordable, they're gonna have a lot of complications. That, and I feel the same way about Ozempic as well. Like Ozempic and all of these insulin shots to lose weight, I think they're gonna come with a lot of, you're gonna see them commercials. If you took Ozempic or this one or that one, call this number, you could get some money because they let these things out. They supposedly study them, and then later on, they're shocked to see otherwise. Vishal, why do you want to know my height and my weight if I'm married? Why do you want to know my height and my weight if I'm married? You like a good heart woman. Mm. Michelle, are you guys used to seeing black people in India? And again, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm asking honestly. Like I remember I used to see the videos of like when black people go to China and the people from China will be like touching their hair or their skin. Would it be like that if I went to India to visit, or they don't really care? Michelle is like, I like everything. I like BBLs. I like black girls. Ah, Michelle. You like my eyes? Thank you. I'm trying to decide if when the sun starts to set, if I should go pull some weeds. What do you guys think? Should I be a good homeowner and go outside and pull some weeds? Or should I just relax? Then I'm trying to decide if I should pay someone to do my landscaping project or should I do it myself? You know, I'm one of those people that I watch like 10 YouTube videos on a topic and then I'll be like, I could do that. I don't need to pay them. So I feel like the things that I watched last night, well, this morning, I was up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching videos on landscaping and laying pavers. And I'm like, I could do this. You think I should come to India? Clips to go. What you saying to Vishal? You gotta include me. Don't be talking to Vishal and I'm lost. What'd you say to them to Vishal? You're being really nice to him. I want to try to read it, but it might be some bad words. So I don't know if I should try. I love trying to see if I could figure out other languages. Vishal Terry Pen Dakusa. Did I pronounce that right? Dakusa? Dakusa. Did I butcher it? Vishal Terry Pen Dakusa. It's probably some bad words that I'm saying. Let me tell y'all something. There was a time when I was in college and I had a bunch of Haitian friends, right? And they used to teach me Creole. And one time they taught me this they kept saying this phrase. They kept saying, if I have any Haitians that get on the live and they hear me, they're gonna be like, girl. But they kept saying this phrase. Like if they would be walking and they'll stub their toe, they would say the phrase. If they were like walking and something fell, they would say the phrase. So I was like, what does that mean? And it was like, it just means like, oh my God, or it means like, oh. And I was like, oh, okay. So then one day I went to church and there was a Haitian guy there. And I was like, oh, I know a bunch of Creole now. He was like, oh, what you know? I was like, I know C'est pas pour that, mais ouais, ooh. I believe that means it's been since I've seen you. Bonita sonri, beautiful smile. Bumpty bisou in French means give me a kiss. Um, what else was it? Kisa means what? Shita manje, sit down and eat. Um, what else did I learn? So I was naming all these things, and he's like, "Oh, good, 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 good." And then all of a sudden, I said the phrase, right? All of a sudden, I said the phrase, right? But I said it with so much pride because I was happy. Like I love when I learn different languages and stuff from different countries. So I do really good. Like if somebody teaches me something, like if you tell me the word 2 or 3 times, that's it. I'll remember it forever. So I'm gonna say the phrase, right? But like I said, if any Haitians come on, they're gonna be like, girl. So they taught me all these things, and they also taught me Kolanget, right? And so, but they would say Kolanget like if they would trip, or if they drop something, or if something fell, it would be like Kolanget. So I was like, oh, okay, what does that mean? They was like, oh, it means like damn, or like, oh my goodness. I was like, oh, okay. Then later on, when I said it in church to the guy, he said, "Oh, they teach you bad words. Don't say that." I was so embarrassed. You can tell AJ about it. I was so embarrassed. But yeah, I always learn. Like even when I was in Baltimore, I worked with a bunch of Filipinos, and there was a guy that in maintenance that every time he came by, he would teach me some stuff. Like he taught me to say "Bigang dak gabi." I think that means good morning. "Bigang dak umaga" means good evening. Um, Mazarat means delicious. What else was there? Too long means I think slow down. Pakahen means food. AJ, why you AJ, why you put that? Are you Haitian? So every time he would teach me a word, it would be like a week later, and he'll come by like on my unit that I was working on. And when I see him, he'll be like, "Do you remember the word I taught you?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, biganga umaga." And he'll be like, "How do you still remember that?" Or sometimes he would be like with 3 other Filipino men, and I'll be like, "Biganga umaga," and they'll turn around like, "Why does this black girl know this?" And then he'll come to teach me another phrase, and then I'll see him again weeks later, and I'll be like, "Bigang dakabi," and he'll be like, I don't know. That's just how I am. That's really how I learned Spanish. I knew some Spanish, but I really learned Spanish from being around a bunch of Dominicans, and they taught me a bunch of Spanish. So when I speak Spanish now, even though I'm from Panama, when I speak Spanish now, a lot of times people will be like, "You're Dominican," and I'll be like, "Mm-mm." Oh, thank you, Vishal. These are dreads. Do you know about dreads? Or they call them locks. The more appropriate terminology is locks. They're sister locks. But the old school terminology is dreads. I just got a message because I posted on my Facebook that went back to work. And then I just got a message from this guy saying, "Let me find out you got a BBL done." Everybody keeps saying, because because my stomach looks smaller after my surgery and I lost weight, people keep saying that I got lipo, that I got a BBL, but I did not. I had fibroids, guys, and I had my fibroids removed. So now my stomach is getting smaller because fibroids are like a tumor that grows in your belly. So it makes your belly end up looking like you're pregnant when you're not. So they took out 19 fibroids. So of course, naturally now my stomach is getting smaller, it's getting flat, which I love. And I didn't have an appetite when I came out of surgery or when I came out the hospital. So I lost a lot of weight. But everybody keeps saying, "Oh, you got a BBL done? You got lipo done?" Mm. I think he didn't understand. Oh, you mean when he was saying, "No, sister, my friend"? No, what my hair is called, the style of my hair is called sister locks. That's what they're called, sister locks. But they're very small dreads. I have like 400 something of them. One time my niece count them for me. You said, can I show what I look like? If you subscribe to my channel, Clips to Go, you'll see um, videos of me standing and stuff. My stomach is still swollen though from where they cut me. So I'm hoping that as time progresses, my stomach will get even flatter. Oh, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Do you have a channel as well? Because I'll subscribe back to your channel if you do. Thank you. Clips to Go, do you have a YouTube channel? You don't? Oh, okay. Where are you from, Clips to Go? I take it you probably from India because you was able to write Vishal and say something to him. My hair is getting long, y'all. I have yet to watch Tyler Perry's Straw. I just feel like all of Tyler Perry's movies are the same. We get it. And I mean, I don't know, some people loved it and were so moved and emotional. That's not my thing. I do want to come to India one day. What part should I visit? What part of India should I go to? And what are I'm from Belgium, but I have Pakistani roots. We have beef with Indians. Oh. So did you write something mean to him or did you really say something nice? You know what I did learn? I had a friend that was from Pakistan and I used to ask him for gum all the time. He was from Brooklyn and he told me my is it mastique? Does that mean gum? Mastique? Tyler Perry is a Diddy boy, by the way. You saw that he's facing charges. He's facing assault charges. This guy is suing him because he said that he assaulted him. Yeah, I don't know. I think the best movie that I ever watched that was Tyler Perry's was Diary of a Mad Black Woman. And I think that's when he first came out. So, you know, the first time you see it, it's like, oh, okay, wow, that was a good movie. But I mean, I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to talk about the stressors and the secrets and stuff that go on in black families or in black women's life. But we get it. We live it. It's meant to be offensive. What meant to be offensive, Masti? Or what you wrote to Vishal? I hope not the mastique because I've been saying that with confidence. My friend told me that meant gum. So I've been saying that for a long time. I hope not. Yeah, but Tyler Perry was at all the Diddy freak. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he was, to be honest. You know, like part of me, and I know that it's a confrontational topic, right? But part of me actually feels bad for some of these people, like R. Kelly, Diddy. You gotta have some deep trauma. Oh my goodness! Why in the world did you say that to him? Um, yeah, like you have to have deep trauma for you to do a lot of these things that these men do. Like, let's say R. Kelly. Oh, you guys got beef. You guys shouldn't beef. It's all love. especially on here. We all love each other. We're the United Kingdoms here. Vishal doesn't want to beef with you. Vishal said, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Yeah, like R. Kelly, when you hear his story, you can tell that he's been through a lot of things growing up. And that's not an excuse because a lot of people have been through things, right? But then they go seek help. I don't think he wants to beef with you. He has yet to. Oh, he said, I don't want to beef, but you better respect me. Y'all, we got a beef going on in the well, Clips to Go wants to beef. Vishal is wants respect. You gotta be nice. He doesn't want to beef with you. Leave Vishal alone. He's my friend. Yeah, but y'all are really ah. You guys, let's all hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Don't be beefing with each other. And Vishal, I was just here saying that you're the bigger person and you don't want to fight or argue. It's funny these beefs that we have culturally with other countries for no reason, just because it's how it's always been, not even for a real reason. Yeah, not that it's an excuse because a lot of people have been through traumatic things growing up, but they go seek the help and do therapy so that they don't repeat the same cycles, right? But a lot of these people that are abusers, you come to find out that they're repeating learned behavior. So I wonder what Diddy went through growing up that would make him feel like he desires freak offs for days to that. Like, okay, you could be a freak, but there's certain levels that when you pass it, it means something. You get what I'm saying? It's like whenever I see the men that or like man whores and have a bunch of children. Okay, I get it. You might be a hot boy. You might be handsome. You might like to engage in activity. But for you to have, let's say, 20, 25 kids, you meet men that literally have 20, 25 children with 10 different women. I think there's something wrong up here. Gotta be. And so whenever I meet men like that, I always wonder what happened in your childhood or in your life that requiring this behavior. It's either you were exposed to something very early or you're trying to mask something. I don't. What signals does a woman show a man she is interested in? I think to make sure I'm understanding your question, Marcel, are you asking what are the signs that a woman is interested in a man? Is that what you're asking me? Just want to make sure I'm comprehending the question correctly. Just answer in the chat yes or no first. Yes. Okay. Well, I think every woman is different, right? Everybody has personalities. But I think when a woman is interested in you, I think when a woman is interested in you, she engages, right? So if let's say you go to make small conversation, interested. If you're like, oh, I like your hair, she's like, oh, thank you. These are called sister locks. And she stops what she's doing to stop and talk to you. When I'm not interested, I mean, granted, I'm always friendly, but when I'm not interested, I kind of keep it moving. Like, I'll be walking to my car and I'll be like, thank you. But if I'm interested, I might turn around and be like, oh, thank you. Yeah, these are called sister locks. I've had them for 4 years. You kind of keep the conversation going on. Number two is, I think when a woman is interested, she likes to be around you. So she looks for opportunities for you guys to spend time together. Instead of coming out and saying, "Oh, I want to hang with you," she will look for AJ. I don't know what you're talking about, but they look for opportunities to hang with you. I think they laugh at your jokes when they're interested. Um, like to talk to you on the phone or talk to you in person. They might even be, some people are touchy when they like you, they'll laugh and touch your shoulder or touch your leg. But there's different types of things that I've seen women do when they're interested. I think for me, my biggest thing is my time. If you see me give you my time, it must be that I like something, like your vibe, not even like you in relationship wise. I just might like your vibes. I like the energy. AJ, are you jumping into the beef with them? I hope you're not jumping into the beef with them, AJ. I'm trying to promote peace. Yeah, so we're talking about men and their trauma. So, in other words, what I was saying is, when you see the men that have 20 kids, 10 women, even if you had two, how much female body part down there do you need? Like, there's something wrong there. So, people like Diddy, yeah, like Moses, you've never met the men that have like 20, 25 kids with 10 different women. One thing is for you to have a bunch of kids with your wife. Cool. The Bible says be fruitful and multiply. So if you want to have, my grandparents had 12 kids. My grandma's sister had 16 kids. Cool. All of them was with their husband and their wife. Again, that was at a different time. AJ want smoke with you. He said, Bishop, I might not want to fight, but I want to fight. That's insane. Moses, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy. It's one thing to have a bunch of kids. And again, that was back then that people would have a lot of children. So even now, if you want to have a lot of children with your spouse, great. But you look at people like, let's say, Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon has 12 kids with a bunch of different women. I think something is wrong. Something got to be wrong with that man, because it doesn't matter how much money you have, how much you love women, how much women do you need? After a while, there has to be something that you're trying to compensate for, or you're trying to cover up. Either that, or you were exposed to something very early. And I said this before, like, a lot of times people talk about little girls being having inappropriate things done to them by grown men. But unfortunately, there's a lot of little boys that had inappropriate things done to them by grown women. And it's just not talked about because men are supposed to just get over it and sweep it under the rug, and they should be happy that, they're getting attention from a grown woman. I think that type of stuff messes their brain up. So I bring all of that up. I'm going on a tangent because we mentioned Diddy. And so again, when I see men like Diddy that need a freak off for 72 hours with a bunch of people doing all kinds of stuff all over their house for 72 hours, I think something had to be wrong with you. I don't think most boys have a problem with that though. I think that they don't think problem because society tells them it's not a problem. But I think it does affect them mentally because there's certain things like you should not be engaging in sexual activity until you're a certain age. So if let's say you're 5 years old and a woman that's 20 years old exposes you to something sexual, your brain isn't even ready for that. So granted, there might be some other grown men that might dap you up and be like, yeah, my boy. And so you feel like, oh, I should be happy about that. But your brain wasn't even ready for all of that. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's inappropriate and it's wrong. And it does have an effect on them. I think it's just financial element if you're wealthy. Hmm. I think the financial element, I think money, I heard somebody say one time, money isn't evil, money isn't good. Money just money um expands what you already are. So if you're a good person, it allows you to be really good. If you're a bad person, it allows you to do a lot of bad things, right? The money itself is not a problem. So if you are already a person that's struggling with these desires, the average Joe that doesn't have money might have a hard time convincing 20 people to come to their house for a freak off and to be recorded. But when you have money, people want to be around you. When you have money and you can promise things, people are like, okay. And so I think it opens the opportunity for the things to happen. But I don't think the money is what causes these people to do these things. Look at R. Kelly. The other day I started watching this series, Surviving R. Kelly. And I just was like, what made these parents take their children, 13, 14, 15, 16, to go live with R. Kelly? How much music could you have to make with R. Kelly that you got to live with him? Like, it would never happen. It could never happen in my world. Do you think that I could have a 13-year-old child, a 14-year-old child, girl or boy, and I don't care how much they want to sing or rap? You think R. Kelly or another celebrity could convince me we got to work on so much music? Just leave them to live here with me. Hell no. Hell no. Even if I got to bring them 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 in the morning, sit with them, and we leave 9 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night, we could do that. But why would they be living with you? So again, I think if the average broke man was to tell a parent, give me a 13-year-old daughter to live with me, they'll be like, boy, hell no. But when it's R. Kelly that has money, you kind of like, you got these parents that I feel like pawn their kids off to him. And I think that he probably was giving them money, paying them. And so they didn't care to pimp their kids out. And then once the kids got to an adult age, where he probably wasn't scared that they're gonna call him in trouble, he stopped giving them money. And when they stopped giving them money, all of a sudden now they're on the documentaries talking about get my child out of there, surviving. So to me, I just feel like money just opens up the opportunities for ridiculous things to happen. I don't think, okay, I think it's a financial element. I've been with an older woman when I was 17, 18, best time of my life. I think 17, 18 is different because 17, 18, I mean, a lot of 17, 18-year-olds are dabbling into things with each other, even at that age. So 17, 18, you're still a child, but your brain is more, I mean, you could smoke cigarettes, you could join the army, you could do things at 18, you can drive a car at 18. When I say young boys, I mean 5, 6. I feel like anything below 17 is inappropriate for an older woman to be messing with. You know, in my opinion, I just think that I don't know, like I had a patient that the son was telling me one time that his teacher started messing with him when he was 13 years old. He ended up getting her pregnant. She ended up getting like running away and quitting from the school because she was scared she was gonna get in trouble. And she basically threw the baby on him because she didn't want to get in trouble and moved to another part of the country. And so his mom ended up raising the child. And he was saying like it kind of messed him up mentally because he's like, I'm 13 years old and I became a father. And she just like threw the baby on me and left. And so he said he went on and ended up having like 10 kids. But again, I think him having 10 kids has to do with, yeah, your teacher was messing with you when you were 13 years old. It's inappropriate. But at that time, other people were probably hyping him up like, dang, you got the teacher? Yeah. And you'll be like, okay, maybe I should feel proud of myself. The whole time that's disgusting. Most people are restricted to enjoy their whims because of society or financial constraints. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That I think that a lot of times the people that have money are then able to be around other people, um, more protect them to be able to act on their desires that are inappropriate. But I get it. Maybe at younger ages, and maybe it's also because consent and pressure from power figures. Yes, exactly. Desperate people do desperate things. Exactly. People don't seem to be rational when dealing with superstars or high standing stars. Yeah, I even look at Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is, you could see that that man is dead inside. I can't even imagine the things that he went through as a child. And again, his parents packed him up and let him go live with these grown men that they don't know from Adam. Like, why in the world? Again, I can't picture what a person could say to me to make me pack my child up and let them go live with them. Girl, boy, never. No. Mm-mm. Well, it might have been 16 maybe. I think it was fine. Maybe at 12, 13. If it was the same partner, I wouldn't have minded. She was 8 or 9 years older. I get you. Again, I just think that it's and what you're saying, clips to go, is not, you know, something that I've never heard before. Again, I know a lot of men that have said the same thing you're saying, that they're like, I don't care, I was happy. I remember the time Lil Wayne had an interview and he was talking about when it was his birthday that I think Birdman and the other men had, I believe it was Superhead if I'm right, go down on him when he was like 14. That made me want to throw up in my mouth. Like, girl, like, come on. And he was saying like he was happy about it. Inappropriate. I think that a lot of inappropriate things happen to boys, and it's just said to be normal or expected, or it should be accepted. But I think that that plays a part for why you see a lot of these men doing inappropriate things. I don't know. Maybe I think about it too deeply. Maybe I just know that when I have my kids, they gotta be with me. They gotta be with me. Is Bear Mac? I don't know. I don't know. There was a time when he was kissing in the mouth and was saying that he was his father. So I don't know. I think a lot of times you see grown men groom little boys, and again, I'm a person that ever since I was younger, like in my teenage years, people always pour their hearts out to me. So I always heard about people's trauma. I don't know if I make them feel comfortable. I don't know what it is. Ever since I was a little girl, people would like pour their hearts out to me and tell me their secrets. And so I met a lot of people and I've heard a lot of people's trauma. And again, I've come to realize that there's a lot of men that have been through a lot of things. And because society doesn't make it a safe for a man to be soft, they just got to eat it. But it shows in their marriages later on when they're emotionally unavailable, or it shows that they get married to a woman but they hate women, or it shows when they have kids and they don't know how to show love to their kids. because there's this trauma that never got acknowledged or dealt with. I think women do a better job of going to therapy and crying with their friends and expressing it because it's more accepted for them to do it than for men. Believe me when I tell you, I only reminisce about her. There's some clips to go is like, I'm doubling down. I'm happy it happened. Um, there's something about being young, energetic, and inexperienced, being with an experienced woman. I understand. I get what you're saying, clips to go. She rocked your world, so I fully understand. But I just think some stuff have a bit of inappropriateness. Like, okay, I even understand the men that are 20 and right now they want women that are in 30s or 40s. Rock out. You guys are both at an age to consent. Go for it. Even if a 20-year-old man wants a 50-year-old woman, 60-year-old woman, go for it. But I just don't think, well, I don't think, I know that it's inappropriate for a woman to find a child desirable or do, I don't care what it is. Like in a situation with Superhead where they said she did whatever with Wayne when he turned 14 for his birthday. I don't care how cool you want to look with these men. Yuck. I would be like, absolutely not. The thing would make me throw up at the thought. It's weird behavior. You said America looks really messed up. You know what? Nowadays looks like crazy things happen in America. You know what? I would say this. America is pretty crazy. Where are you from? Where are you from, Ken? America is pretty crazy. But you know what it is though too? America is also more public and vocal about things. The things that happen in America aren't you're from Australia, okay. The things that happen in America aren't in America, but I think other countries are more private. So, for example, I think America is about awareness. America is about sharing with each other to find strength in numbers. So, let's say for example, if you have a mental health illness, in America, the people will platform and talk about it because other people will sign on and say, "Oh, I too have this. Oh, this happened to me. I used to feel the same way." Like they look for strengths in numbers. They don't like to be private about anything because like they're taking control of their truth when they share their truth. So that's what I think America looks a little bit more crazier than other countries. Where other countries, I think a lot of crazy, inappropriate things happen there too, but it's more hushed and it's not front street. Like let's say for example, inappropriate things that happen within families. It's not only in America that an uncle does something inappropriate to a niece, but here in America, someone would jump on their live and be like, "Oh, my uncle, he did this." Like they'll say it, and where other countries would maybe deal with it within the family or just act like it never happened. America is very blunt, like, I'm putting it out there. Yes, Indian relationship, emotional love. I don't know what you're talking about, Vishal, but okay. You said you like me, I'm awesome. Thank you. Hi, um, radical malls. I don't know how to say that. I think this is more of a problem in the US. Y'all have become snowflakes. Men in the rest of the world will not have trauma from this if it was consensual and enjoyable. Yeah, again, y'all have a lot of mental issues and you talk too much about feelings. We just take a beating and deal with it and move on. True, and that's what I'm saying. I think somewhere in between, when you said about consensual, that's fine, that's cool. But a 5-year-old can't consent to doing anything sexual with adult. It just can't happen. A 10-year-old can't tell you, yeah, I want to do. They can't. So I don't care how they try to twist that. There's no such thing as a child consenting to certain things. Adult or a teenager like 17, 18, that's different. But 10, 13, 5, I don't care what that lady or man says, that child cannot consent. Um, and then the part where you say that we got a lot of mental issues in the United States and we talk too much about feelings. I agree. I think again, I'm also from another country. Once you hit puberty, you can consent. I get what you're saying. But puberty again for girls begins at 12. You're saying that a man that's 45, as long as a 12-year-old girl consents to mess with a man 45, that's okay? To me, that's still inappropriate. Or a girl could start hitting puberty at 11. She cannot consent. She's a child. But again, what it is also, like you said, different countries have different rules. Some countries, the rule for the age for consent or to is like 15. Clips to go. Oh my goodness, I disagree with you. I don't think a 12-year-old, number one, a 12-year-old's brain is not fully developed. That's why a 12-year-old can't drive. That's why a 12-year-old can't join the military. That's why a 12-year-old can't work because their brain is not fully developed. They're not even mature enough to make long lasting decisions for themselves. Who you are at 12, you're not the same person at 30 or at 18. So it's like asking an 11 or a 12-year-old, do you want to have a baby? And she says, yes. And because of that, it's okay. No, like a child, 12-year-old is a child and they're looking for your approval. Yes, yeah, absolutely. Anything 18, less than 18 is a child. And so, especially like 12, 13, they're looking for your approval. A grown man that has groomed and showed love to a 12-year-old child asks her that or implies that that's what he wants, of course she's going to say yes because she thinks that that's what she's supposed to be doing. That's appropriate. But again, I think that, clips to go, you might be from a different culture. So maybe that's why you also feel like the age is different, you know. Um, would you say divorce rates or single parenthood is increasing or decreasing in America in a relative proportion with population? Absolutely. I think both of them are increasing. And it's increasing because um many things. I think part of it is an agenda, especially in the black community, in the American black community. I think there's a lot of um mental chains, systemic chains that are still prevalent. So I think right now when you go on Facebook or on social media, seeing a lot of especially black people, when I say black, I mean black Americans, arguing about gender roles, arguing about men versus women, saying that women are the prize or men saying they're the prize. And so it just causes them to feel like they don't need each other. And if you don't think you need the other person, your tolerance for the person is very low. So let's say, for example, back in the day, maybe your grandpa came in, kicked his shoes off at the door, threw his socks on the floor. And every day your grandma was annoyed and complained, but she picked them up and just was like, this is so annoying, and picked the boots up and kept it moving. Today in 2025, you got women that make more money than men, and that's not them because whether you make more money than not, more money than a man or not, that shouldn't be a problem. But you got some women that make more money, and you have some women that feel like I'm making more money than you. You don't help me as much, and you kicked off your shoes every day. I'm not picking up your shoes every day. I'm not your mom, and so they'll be like, I don't feel like dealing with him, and they're done just because of that. So I think that tolerance, that desire to need that partnership isn't there anymore. I think back in the day, men felt like they needed a woman in their life, a good woman to be at home or just to be in their life to make them better. And women also felt like they needed a man to be in the house and, be the man of the house. I think now you got men that are like, I could wash my own clothes. I don't need no lady. which is good to know those things. But they don't really. I think in 2025, there's a lot of men that don't really like women. They don't like men. It's not like they want to date men, but they also don't like women. And you have a lot of women that are over it. And they're like, I'd rather be alone than put up with crap from a guy. So they're just choosing to be by themselves. Um, Lack of tolerance from both sides is killing family units. Absolutely. I think that only happens in the US. No. Clips to go. Now you want to smoke with me because you couldn't fight with Bishop. Psych, no. I do agree with what you're saying on clips to go because again, other cultures or other countries, I don't think they're having that breakdown in family because realistically I think they still keep the gender roles going to a certain extent. Or even if they don't keep the gender roles going, they still have a partnership. So again, let's say in another country, a woman is the doctor and she marries a man. In other countries, I don't think the woman will be like, oh, I'm gonna talk to him any type of way because I'm a doctor and I make more money than him. That won't happen. I think the woman will still come home and maybe cook, or she will still be like, he's the man of the house, talk to him. Like she'll still let him feel like he's the man, even though she's making more. Where here, I think a lot of times it goes into making more than you. And all this rumbling outside. I'm being nosy. Like here is it goes into I'm making more than you, so I really don't need your crap, basically. No, I don't know any man that would voluntarily stay at home to do the dishes. I know some who do it to keep the peace in the house. It is not what he wants to do though. No, that's fine. I don't necessarily mean for them to switch roles. I'm just more speaking about partnership. At least for me. I feel like I don't care if I was to be with someone that makes less money than me. What I care about is partnership. So if today I worked 18 hours, when I come, let's say I left at 7 o'clock, let's say when you work in a hospital here, you work 12 and a half hours. So you leave out at 6 in the morning, 6:30, and you're coming back 7:30, 8 night. To me, I think what partnership looks like is if you were home today or if you got off at 5 o'clock, maybe if you could cook something. Or, and again, I'm the type that I will cook thing the day before since I know that I'm gonna work the next day. But even if you just, after you ate, wash your dish or wash the kids' dishes, I think that that will be nice. Am I a stud? Do I give manly energy? I give stud energy? Mike, I give stud energy? I think I'm very feminine. I don't know. That's news to me though. If I give that energy, I mean, hey. It's just not what men naturally feel like doing. No, I understand. I get what you're saying, clips to go. I think that makes sense. 50-50. What 50-50 for what? Paying bills or 50-50 that I give stud energy? Men naturally feel like being a provider and being appreciated for that by your family. That is what we intrinsically want, even though some might say different because of society pressure. I agree. I agree because even biblically, the Bible says that, a man is supposed to work and do certain things. So I do believe that when a man is not able to do those things, even if he accepts it, I don't think he feels good within himself. And naturally, it's going to trickle over to be a problem in your relationship. So, again, I think if you have a man that's at home, even if y'all agree, like, I don't work and you stay home, I think it causes a problem because Jamal, I give stud energy too. Ah, oh my goodness. What is giving stud energy? I'm not even insulted. I find it funny. I'm not disrespected at all. It's hilarious. But ah, Jamal, maybe I'm from the East Coast, so let's start there. I think women from the East Coast, we speak um a bit more aggressive maybe, or our tone is, we don't have a high voice. And I'm Caribbean too. So, Caribbeans have a deep tone. So maybe that's why I get stud energy. Billy said me too. Yeah, I'm Caribbean and I'm from East Coast. Have you ever met a woman from New York that talks like, I am from New York? Like, no, we have a deep tone, a rasp tone. And Caribbeans too. Caribbean women talk, have a deep tone. Again, I'm not insulted. I find it funny. But that will explain a lot, because I remember, I'm one of them women that I'm a woman's woman. So if I'm in church and I see a lady come in and she looks like she's dressed nice and she's beautiful, I'm like, wow, you look nice. I love your shoes. You're killing it. And I remember one time I was at work at hospital and this lady came over and she was like doing something, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're so beautiful, do you model? And I remember my friend turned around and she was like, what is happening? Like, you sound like recruiting her. And I was like, no, it wasn't that. It's just, I'm not a hater. If a beautiful girl, if a woman is beautiful, she's beautiful. If a man is handsome, he's handsome. when a man feels when a man feels they are not needed anymore, it creates a problem. Yeah, I agree. I would never be able to live with myself being at home while my woman is out working. I understand. Yeah, ponytail would seal the deal. Okay. Well, I get stud energy, y'all. But I'm not a stud at all. Not a stud at all. I'm just not very girly neither. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not like a, oh my God, I can't. I'm not that type of girl. My deep tone is awesome. Thank you. Am I in a relationship? I'm married to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Hi, Honest Abe. We're talking about how they thought I was a stud because my voice is deep. Do I give stud energy to you, Honest Abe? That's actually hilarious to me. Awesome. Good on you. I'm getting foundation in my bed. Yes, I'm a Christian. I'm Seventh-day Adventist. Y'all, should I go out and pull weeds? Now I'm about to seem like a stud. When sun sets, should I go out there? What does that mean? It's a Christian. So Seventh-day Adventist. Okay, Jameson, if you say so. Um, it means, well, your Seventh-day Adventist is Christian, but we go to church on Saturdays. That's the main difference. We go to church on Saturdays, and we're awaiting the second coming of Christ. Those are the two things, basically, that the name breaks down to be. Seventh day, meaning we worship on the seventh day. Wow, that's the strictest Christians. Seventh-day Adventists is strict. There's stuff we don't eat. Friday sunset to Saturday sunset, you keep Sabbath. Um, yeah, it's strict, but I like it. Do you believe that Jesus is God or the Messiah? I believe Jesus is God's son. And God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are three in one in that they work together to do one thing. Do you study the Bible? Absolutely. And I'm not a stud, Jameson, just so you know, because I don't want you to think that I'm a Seventh-day Adventist stud. I'm not a. They just think that I'm like that because of my voice. They said that my voice is deep, but I'm not interested in women at all. Oh, so you're a Trinitarian? No, because there's some people that believe in the Trinity, as in that God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are literally the same person. I don't believe that, right? Because there are times when Jesus is referring to God, the Father, or or that it's referring to the Holy Spirit. So to me, they can't be all one person. I think when they say three in one, I mean they're all working towards the same mission, so they're in one. Yeah, I think the Trinity is complicated. And again, there's some people that it's all in how the people interpret it. There's some people that interpret it as, again, that God, His Son, and the Holy Spirit is really one person. And then there are others who know that they're three different entities, but they work together to do one thing. So it depends, I guess, on the religion and how you interpret. Brad, do you have a girlfriend? What religion are you, Clips to go? That's hilarious. I can't wait to call my friends and tell them that they said I give stud energy. Mm-mm. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you read the Bible, you can clearly see Father is the one being prayed to. Jesus also prayed to the Father. The Father did Jesus and everything. Okay. What religion are you, Clip? So to me, it makes sense that the Father is God and Jesus is a prophet or Messiah, just like Moses and David was and all the rest. That's basically Islamic belief. Oh, you're Muslim. Okay, I got you. Um, do you guys keep Sabbath as well or no? Like, do you guys keep Friday sunset to Saturday sunset? Is it a special day for you? I feel like there was someone that I once knew that was Muslim, and I think he told me there was something that is important about that time frame as well. Like for us, we say Sabbath. The Jewish people say Sabbath. I don't know if you guys have that name attached to it, but do you guys keep Friday sunset to Saturday sunset? Like for something reverent or important? I like a lot of the Islamic teachings as far as when it comes to treating each other. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. How should I put it? A lot of times you see men that go to prison, especially like black men that go to prison, and they end up turning to the Islamic faith. And I was telling someone the other day, I understand to a certain extent why I do, right? Because a lot of the teachings are like about self worth. It's about giving you value and discipline and things like that. So I like a lot of the teachings. It's about treating each other a certain way, seeing yourself then more than just the mistakes that you made, basically. Islam is mostly criticized because of the marriage of the Prophet Muhammad with age at a young age. And again, that's what I was saying, that culturally, there's a lot of countries that believe different things. And so, you know, for some countries, that's not a big deal, or certain fates. But, you know, that's just not a norm for me in my environment. So that's why it's hard for me to agree. I've been slacking. I'm supposed to drink 4 bottles of water a day. And I think also certain countries also they mature a bit faster too. Let's say for example, like Hispanic countries, like you'll see a 15-year-old girl go off to live with a man and be cooking and basically being like a wife for him at 15. They're very mature, like know how to cook, clean, this, that. And an American 15-year-old is like, where's my charger? Like they're more, and that's not bad, right? Because I love not forcing a child to grow up faster than they do. So I love when I see a teenager or a child that's acting like a child, because sometimes they're so in such a rush to be grown up, and there's you many years to be grown up. So I think that you know that also plays a part, that an American 15, 14-year-old, unless they've often been exposed to things, or normally not as mature as a 14, 15-year-old from another country. A 14, 15-year-old from another country are responsible for cooking dinner for the whole family, cleaning, taking care of babies, doing all these things like already. Where here, if someone left their 14-year-old with a baby for too long, they would call authorities on them and say, they're not responsible. So it's just a different culture. But if you look at the Bible and the Torah, you will see the same thing happening. You should look up the age of Rebecca at marriage. Islamic ruling says that the age of marriage is when both are physically and mentally ready. But it also needs to be acceptable in society. So nowadays it wouldn't be allowed, but back then it was a norm. I mean, again, back then, let's say again, back then in the Bible times, I don't imagine that they were sending the kids to school, right? So I imagine that the time they reach a certain age, all they were talking to them about is learning how to cook, learning how to clean, learning how to be a wife, right? So if from the time they're, let's say, 5 years old, they're training them to be a helpmate or to be a spouse, by the time they turn 15, by the time they turn 13, 14, they're kind of mature in the sense of that they have been trained to be a spouse from since they was 5 years old. So they had from 5 to, let's say, 13, that's 6 years that they were teaching them how to cook, how to clean, how to be a wife. Um, because that's all that their focus was. Like, that's what you're put on this earth to do. Be a spouse, be a mom. But here in 2025, a 5-year-old should be in school. A 5-year-old should be learning to write their name. Um, a 12-year-old should be learning math or algebra. So their focus shouldn't be on, laying on their back or being married. Like, it just shouldn't be, in my opinion, here. And that's no disrespect to other people's cultures or other countries. But I just think that, they have time to focus on school. And then when you finish school, at least high school, then you could decide if you want to go off and go to college, or if you want to be married and be a mom, that's fine too. But at least, learn to read, to write. Back then, those girls probably didn't even know how to read and write, but they were rushed off to be somebody's wife. Some parts of the world and in those places, it makes sense if they get married young. In those countries, they usually don't have the means to go to school. Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So in those cases, yeah, because all that you're mainly from the time when you're born as a woman, you're being trained to be a wife. And as a husband, as a boy, you're being trained to do does, to provide, to protect, to go get a good job, to do this. So, okay, get some rest. Subscribe to my channel, Ken. Till the next time. Yeah, I agree that, at those times they didn't have school. So it was, all right, the answer is find a man to go to get married and find a man to take care of you. So that's why, yeah, they're going to push being a wife at that time. Now it's like, I'm not saying being a wife isn't important because of education now, but yeah, have a foundation to be able to read, write. Because God forbid that husband dies, at least you have your high school diploma that you can go work somewhere. Imagine you ran off and got married at 15, didn't finish school because you had a husband as a provider. You have kids, he passes away. Oh, I'm like, who's at my front door? Somebody's walking by. Excuse me. If he passes away, what is she going to do? In poor families, in poor areas, women are unfortunately seen as financial burden as opposed to boys who are bringing the money. So maybe that's also why they get married young. Exactly. Yep. I agree, because that's the only means to be able to take care of themselves, is to get with a nice guy or get with a guy, doesn't even need to be nice. Get with a man that has money who's going to take care of them, and they branch off. The parents are able to have that one last child off of their mind, well, at least one less child that they're responsible for, because now they're this man's problem to take care of. And I understand. I'm just saying that here in 2025, and especially in the US, I don't think that there's a need for that, because yeah, being a wife is important still, because I don't think that education trumps being a wife, like the importance of having a family. So yeah, you should still desire to be a wife. You should still desire to have kids if you so choose. If you don't, that's cool too. But I think at least having a high school diploma is important in 2025. You never learn. If you drop out of school, don't learn how to read or write because you were so focused on being a wife, and like I said, your man picks up and leaves, or God forbid passes away, where does that leave you and your children? So at least have a high school diploma. But yeah, and I think that if a 12-year-old is busy in the house being a wife instead of being a child, it just, I think a lot of times you see a lot of them people grow up and now they're behaving childish. They want to go out to parties and do stuff. Marcel, we covered this already. Give us the tea, Marcel. Who are you interested in? What is she doing or not doing? Marcel is interested in someone, and Marcel wants to know if they're interested in him. Give us the tea. What's happening? Who are you interested in? I understand it makes less sense in the West, but personally feel like even in the West, you should be able to marry if you are a minor, but only with someone with a small age gap. Well, here, even here, you are able to get married if it's a small age gap and if you're at a certain age. Like here, there are people that get married at 16. Sometimes they need their parents' approval to be able to get married at 16. Um, so I mean, you're also able to emancipate yourself at 16, I believe. So there's some kids that basically have paperwork done saying that they are responsible for themselves as an adult early. Those you so you can there are people, I personally know of people that got married at 16, and maybe the person was that they got married to maybe 18 or 19 at the time. So it is possible. It's just you might need some of your parents' approval in it. Versus when you're an adult, you do what you want to do, you marry who you want to marry. But if you're like 16 and you want to get married, I think, at least back then, I don't know what it's like in 2025, you just had to have your parent sign off agreeing to let you get married. Some countries have laws like that. That makes sense for us. I'm curious on a woman's point of view. Men and women are different in several ways. No, I understand, but we touched on that earlier, so that's why I was curious about who you're interested in, and tell us what she's doing or not doing, and then I'll tell you if I think she's interested. Anyways, I've been on live running my mouth for an hour, almost an hour and a half. I could talk. But I gotta go. I gotta go chart and possibly go outside to pull weeds. I'm still deciding what I'm gonna do at sunset when it's not so hot, because my house looks crazy outside. But I hope you subscribe to my channel. Clips to Go. It was nice talking to you. I would love, I hope you subscribe so that next time I go live, we could talk again. Take care, y'all. All right. Thank you. You catch her. Oh, Marcel, you catch her staring from across the room? She might be interested, so go talk to her. Stop staring at and go talk to her. Go over and say, wow, I think you're beautiful. And, engage. That's the only way to know. Sometimes you just have to be direct. Life is short. If she says no, what's the worst that could happen? You'll still be alive. It won't kill you. So just go talk. Ask her if she's interested. She'll either say yes or no. And you guys will move forward, or you won't. You don't have to wonder, though. At least you won't be wondering anymore. You have the answer. All right, Marcel, subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.